Bishop of Sokoto Catholic Diocese, Mathew Hassan Kukah, comes under attack for his Christmas message on possible coup if the president wasn't from the north. And 2023 presidency hits up as Ekiti APC chieftain says Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is preferred over Governor Kayode Fayemi. This is Plus Politics. I am Kayode Ladeni. Welcome once again to Plus Politics. The Bishop of Sokoto Catholic Diocese, Mathew Hassan Kukah, has come under attack for speaking against the government of President Muhammadu Buhari in his Christmas message. The Northern Elders Forum criticized the cleric for suggesting that the president be removed through an undemocratic process, that is according to them. Kukah, in reaction to the spate of attacks and killings in the country, has said if it was non-northern Muslim that was president that had done a small portion of what President Buhari has done, a military coup would have been carried out long ago. The NEF, in its reaction, said, though it agrees with Kukah's opinion that Buhari's government lacks respect for inclusiveness, it is wrong to seek solution to the problems outside the democratic process. Joining us to discuss this further, we have the spokesperson of Afenifere, Yinka Odumakin. Good evening, Mr. Odumakin.
Good evening.
Yeah, let's look at the import of that message and what interpretation do you make out of the reaction from the Northern Elders Forum?
Well, I've listened to the reaction of the presidency and the non-elder forums of Bishop Kukah. They have clearly spoken out of their religious bias against the bishop, lynching him because it's not a same faith with them. What Bishop Kukah did was nothing but speaking truth to power in the order of a Christian bishop. He has spoken the truth the way it should be spoken at a time when speaking the truth is anathema in the country. And we commend Father Kukah for the powerful truth he spoke. And we stand with him. We support him. And those who are lynching him, bashing him left and center, they can't be friends of the country. They are clearly agents of provocation who are unleashing what I would call hate speech against the bishop for speaking the truth as a bishop of the Lord.
Okay, Mr. Odumakin, if you look at the introduction I read out, I think we should put it within context. Now, for the Northern Elders Forum, I think it's fair on their part, that's my opinion, when they said that they also agree with the bishop that the government lacks this sense of inclusiveness, but tying it to undemocratic means is quite volatile. We have said bye-bye to military intervention. So why make such suggestion either implicitly or explicitly?
The bishop did not call for a military coup. All he said that if Buhari is not the one in the start with, they would have done a coup. That's what he said. And this is we could not have gone through what we are going through in the last 5 years with us them applying something on democratic. They would have done it. Because they are one the agenda is on the throne, and that's why they have allowed all of people. That's what the bishop said. That does not amount to calibrate things. People are just what we have happened. If it is not one of them perpetrating this agenda against them.
Okay, thank God. Thank God you said that you're fully behind it. So we might talk less of what Bishop Kukah said, and also look at what you were saying on behalf of Afenifere now. So looking at it, for a lot of people, the mention of coup, should it be tied to some kind of religious bias? Should it be tied to some kind of ethnic enclave? Because some people will remind us that the first coup that was planned, it wasn't from the north, it wasn't from the Muslim. So why are we tying coup to the issue of, oh, if we're to be a non-Muslim, is it about the region or about some greedy few military junta, in quest of power?
I said that if you listen to the bishop, he did not call for a coup. All he said that they would have done a coup if not that one of them that's perpetrating these things against the country. That's what he said. It's different from saying, oh, there should be a coup. No. All he said that what you are doing is different. So that's what he said. They are just twisting his words for their own religious bias.
Okay, let's also look at some of the things he said, because I have the speech in front of me here, and I noticed that it's quite loaded. Maybe we should look away from the contemplations on coup or no coup and look at the depth of what he's saying. Now, the speech is titled, so sad, the speech is titled A Nation in Search of Vindication. And he mentioned the issue of another Christmas with clouds of death. I think it's time we listen to people like you talk about the alternative. If what we hear from other side is government has lost direction, they don't know how to fix our security, how do we, provide solution in the immediate?
Well, clearly, every section of Nigeria, they are worried about insecurity in Nigeria, about the way it's being all over the country, the way we are casting death in the places is so worrisome, and the government seems to have lost total control. The commander in chief has been the lamenter in chief. It's just when the president comes here, it laments the feelings of citizens. Without no sense of direction, of fair grip of what is to be done. So, within that context, the lives of Nigerians have gone so cheap and been taken easily on daily basis. And there is no way, except those who are supporting the land will be comfortable with what you know. And the faith of a bishop that enjoins him to say the truth at all times. It's what has done. And if there's a lie in the code, let them point it out. They cannot. And just blackmail. Oh, it's is this, is that. He has called for no such thing, and they are just blackmailing man, blackmailing in the submission with the coup mantra. But the truth is that, like you read clearly what he has spoken the truth about how this country has become so abandoned to kidnappers, to bandits, to criminal elements, and how, because it's squandering at this admission, even financial crimes, the citizens will say that yes, it's million. So clearly, there's nothing the teacher has said that's outside the realm of what globally said about Nigeria.
Okay, Mr. Yinko Domake, I will still come back to you because I'm more interested in some of the solutions you will prefer as a stakeholder in this entity called Nigeria. Let's look at how sensitive the issue of religion, how sensitive the issue of ethnicity had been over time. And irrespective of using your word now, the powerful truth spoken by the bishop, how can this message be communicated to whoever is involved without, touching their sensibility in terms of religion and ethnicity?
I know, but you know that religion and ethnicity are the major weapons that these are manipulated in power. Outside the manipulation of those specificities, what's the basis of this government? It's those things they are manipulating to sustain themselves in power against the health of the country, against the safety of Nigeria. And so they continue to manipulate this to keep the policy at their advantage.
Okay, so because I'm looking at, it's just like we know what religion has turned us to. We know how ethnic issues have turned us to. We hardly have people who think outside these two issues, who look at issues objectively and forge the way ahead. I know I can predict some of the immediate solutions you will come up with, maybe not immediate. You will talk about restructuring. You will talk about how we can do probably state policing. We know what you've been fighting for over the years. But in the immediate, how do we have, preferably in 2021, a lovely Christmas, a Christmas that we're not dealing with insecurity, we're not dealing with killings every now and then, having, a terrible attack on the eve of Christmas, and some kind of wanton destruction?
Well, Kelly, in lots of leadership, the leadership we have at the moment is not conducive to all those lofty ideas that we're talking about. They are so much ensconced in their sectional and nepotistic agenda at the expense of the country. This is not how a country should run. And that's the truth.
How should it be run? How should it be run? That's my question.
Nigeria should be run as an inclusive country in the interest of the all, place the heads of the country above everything else, not sectional and nepotistic interests at the edge, at the expense of every other thing. If you want to keep this country in good shape, you must run this country inclusively and in a way that is conducive to peace of the country, with good health and good, that's very key at this moment. And what we are doing at the moment is not healthy for the country. That's why we are not at peace. And that's why I said that the country part all over the place, and they are spending their health in the justice, thinking that giving that all is okay, when you know that nothing is okay with here at the moment. We must continue on this step, like you said earlier. We have to restructure this country. We cannot continue live this way and put Nigeria on the edge. There's no day. It's either kidnapping, killing here and there, and the government is doing nothing beyond lamentation. That is not healthy for us.
Okay, because I'm quite interested in in finding a lasting solution. But let's bring up some argument from the people in power. I've sat under a forum where the vice president rolled out the list of appointees in many federal parastatals, And from the statistics, from the map, it was clear that even the South had more appointments than the North. And except for where you talk about the service chiefs, you hardly have the Southeast, in the list. So can we also look at the argument from the people in power? They will remind us that if this government was nepotistic, if this government was so so religious biased, maybe we wouldn't even have a vice president who is a Christian. We wouldn't have some people in power, even the secretary to the government of the federation who is also from another religion. Have you looked at it from this angle rather than thinking the first consideration is that of religion or ethnicity?
Well, clearly, there is no doubt the fact that this government is defined by region and religion. And so when we have and vice president making all those kind of claims, but you know that they are just being self-serving, and we do precious people not attach any importance to such people.
Okay, maybe before we go, let's look at the depth of this statement that has been turned into the issue of calling for coup. Do you really think that anything that has to do with coup should be condemned from all sides, irrespective of, like they always say, the worst of civilian government is still much better than the best of the military rule?
Well, I think that there's nobody that's canvassing for military rule at this moment. And like I said, what they are doing against South Africa is pure blackmail, emotional blackmail, and religious blackmail, because he is from a different faith from them, so they have to blackmail him with the religious blackmail. But it's clear today that, like I said, Nigeria is not going to run well. Nigeria will run better, and there's no excuse for the way Nigeria is being run at the moment. It's not the right way to run the country. They are taking advantage of us.
Okay, finally, let me have your comment on this. So, how do we play down the religious or ethnic tension that is being used to color conversation? How do we have a reasonable engagement that would not be, that will not be laced with this kind of sentiment?
Well, like I said, everything rests and falls on leadership. The kind of leadership that we have in India today is so narrow. It's not inclusive. It's not seeing the whole picture. All they want is their grip on power for ethnic agenda, for religious purpose, and it's not about inclusivity. It's not about the whole Nigeria. When Bishop Buhari said that Nigeria isn't taking advantage for the non-interest, we are not what's happening not in the Nigeria Republic. That people that wonder today, the kind of primacy importance the Nigeria Republic has acquired over Nigeria. These are part of the nationalism and nepotism that defines this regime, which President Kukah spoke about. But the regime and his agents and his friends who are benefiting will defend this iniquity.
Okay, thank you once again, Yinka Odumaki, spokesperson of Afenifere. Thank you for your position on these issues. We will continue to stay on it. The conversation will always continue on all our social media platforms. Thank you for your time.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, we will take a short break now, and when we return, the Ekiti State APC makes known who they want to take over from Buhari come 2023. This is up next for discussion. Please stay with us.